Hey, thanks for joining me on my blog again this week. If you would, like and subscribe down below. Kind of helps me out. Now, my question for you is this. Who is the wise old sage or the wise person? They don't have to be old. Who's the wise person that you like to go and talk to when you have a difficult decision to make? Maybe it's a choice you've got to make, or you're in a tough situation and you really need to think through this decision and you need somebody you can trust. Who is the person that you go and talk to? Is it an aunt or an uncle, a grandparent, your pastor, or a longtime friend you've known since childhood? Who do you go talk to? Now, this person does not have to be the smartest person you know. They don't have to have the highest IQ or the most degrees. They just have to be somebody that you trust, that you really, really trust, because you've watched their life and you know that they make good, godly decisions and that they will give you wise advice that will help you make a good decision. The scripture says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. William Alger, who's a preacher, once said, we give advice by the bucket, but we take it by the grain. We need to flip those around. We need to take as much advice as we can when we really have a tough decision to make. So who is that person for you? Now, if you don't have that person in your life, then I would highly recommend you begin praying about who that person might be and ask God to bring somebody in your life. And when he does, I would just honor that person. Go to them and just be honest and say, I look up to you. You make great decisions. You make good godly decisions. I would love to ask you some questions. Would you help me in this situation? And I guarantee that they will feel honored and they will be more than happy to do that for you. But once you get to a place where you're ready to make a decision, there are actually questions you can ask yourself that will help you make a decision. So if you don't have anybody in your life, these are the questions you can ask. And they come from this book by Andy Stanley called The Best Question Ever. And he said the best question ever is, what is the wise thing to do? What's the wise thing to do? It might not be the thing that you want to do, but it's the wise thing. Given all the circumstances, given the whole situation, given all the pros and cons, what's the wise thing to do? And he said you can break that down into 3 more questions and they will really help you. And the first one is, in light of my past experience, what's the wise thing to do? So in other words, if you have faced this situation before and you've made a choice and there were consequences and it did not turn out well, then what's the wise thing to do? Given your past experience and what you know about this situation and as how it might play out. The second question, he said, is in light of my current situation, my current circumstances, what's the wise thing to do? Thinking about your family and the people who are going to be involved or the people who are going to be affected by this decision. What is the wise thing to do? It might be a financial decision and you might go, okay, given my current financial situation, what's the wise thing to do? In other words, let's say you're trying to buy a house and you feel like this house might be more than you can afford and you get it down on paper and you realize, yes, we are going to be house poor. We're going to be so tied up in paying for this house, we're not going to be able to do anything else. Well, it may not be a wise thing then to buy that house. Maybe you can find another house that you love just as much for a lot less money, as an example. And then finally, he said, in light of my future hopes and dreams, the things that I hope will happen down the road in my life, the things that I'm really wishing for or praying about or working toward, what is the wise thing to do given all of that information? And when you lay all that out and you were to just take a piece of paper and write on the top of it, in light of my past experience, what's the wise thing to do? In light of my current situation and circumstances, what's the wise thing to do? In light of my future hopes and dreams, what's the wise thing to do? And you begin to lay all that out. I think it'll be pretty clear by the time you get to the end of all of that, what is the wise thing to do? I know I personally wish I had asked myself these questions in the past. I did not, but I do now. I think about them a lot, actually. What's the wise thing to do? What's the good, godly decision to make in any situation? And especially if it's something that's going to affect people around you and affect people negatively, what is the wise thing to do? Hope this helps you. I know it helps me. Keep walking with Jesus, and I'll see you next week.